Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the mall, wherever you are in this world, people. Welcome to United Real Therapy. To me, I'm sorry, we get behind the headlines here, man. We're not just easily done by headlines or a few quotes here. Big up Ramingo Fletcher. Big up Ramingo Fletcher. He goes on to say here, look, when Joe Bayer asked Rio about issues at United, Rio Ferdinand on 5 replied, the training ground stuff, the infrastructure, the technology doesn't really concern me. But big up to you all, people. Big up to you here. We get to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter. Heart of the matter. We're going to try and get into it, people. So big up. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We've just finished the Straight Jacket podcast, people. So those of you who've just finished work or whatever, or just, make sure you check that out. At the end, it got a bit heated. I always call it as I see it.
No, you know what? Don't change, Lordin. You know what I mean? Don't change. Don't change.
I don't change.
It was a bit harsh. It is a bit harsh.
No one. I just get frustrated because I can see players thinking, I want to go to the World Cup. So I've had to go at Anthony. I've had to go at Anthony. So go and check that out. But big up to every one of you. Saeed, how you doing, bro?
Not too bad, man. I'm just in my new flat, man. Last week we were on the Straight Jacket podcast. I wasn't in my new flat. So yeah, man, I'm just in my new flat, chilling. And life is going good, man. How's your Monday, man? It's dark out there now. It's one of them, man. It's dark, man. There's no sun anymore, man. There's no sun, man. Try
to look forward to a World Cup in dark times. It's World Cup is summertime. That's
I know.
What it's always associated with in the summertime. So it's
how is people gonna watch it in work, man? Imagine having to go work and then Argentina's playing at 10 in the morning. Like it's crazy, man. Like honestly,
10,
like
some of the games are 10, 12, and
10-1, 3, or 4, and then 7 is the last game.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, it already kicks off. So today's show, people, we're gonna get to the heart of that matter. That's what we're going to do.
I love that.
Heart of the matter. That's what we're going to do. The question is simple.
Yeah.
Who should fans be more upset with?
Yeah.
37-year-old CR7 or the real virus in this football club? Well, I posed the question and I'm going to answer it first. Or are we going to talk that there's the 70-year-old virus at this football club? But here we go. And all of the henchmen as well. That's what it is. Now, Rio Ferdinand being the henchman for the Glazers. Here we go. When Joe Bayer, big up Joe Bayer, by the way, asked Rio issues at United, Rio Ferdinand on 5 replied, the training ground stuff, the infrastructure, technology doesn't really concern me. Now and again, the veil, it slips in it. The reality comes out. The mask goes, woo! And then you see the reality. And in that moment, Rio, like, life came at him, innit? Because he's like, shit, I like Richard Arnold. And the Glazers, they're good people. I can't say anything about them. And it's more when you say you don't respect the manager. I think there isn't any way back. Of course we know. Listen, those of you who don't know me, like, go and check out my Twitter, innit? That guy Red Devil. I put it out. I said Ronaldo interview was an exit interview. We went into it yesterday. So big up Panata. And we'll go into it. Tom, how are you doing? How are you? I hope you're well. Did the battery die last night? Because
evening.
Man, on a discussion.
Yeah, man. My phone died. My phone died, and I'd left my laptop charger in Canary Wharf. So obviously, I was in Newcastle. So I was moving mad, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. So I couldn't exactly buy one, could I?
Yeah.
I was moving mad.
Big up. Have you got a charger now?
Yeah.
Take part. Welcome to the show. I hope you had a good day. I hope everything's all right in Geordie land. You must have mixed and blended with them. They must be out of them in third place.
Mate, third
place, mate.
Third place, mate. And like deservedly third place.
Absolutely. Deservedly third place.
Like I said, the regime that owns them, I'm not here for that. But the fans, as a football fan, I'm absolutely over the moon for them.
Yeah.
So big up.
Absolutely.
It's simple, people. The bigger thing to ask is that Cristiano Ronaldo would never have been here.
Oh, man.
If it wasn't for the Glazers.
Mate.
So when people are saying he disrespected the club, I'm here to separate the two. Disrespecting Eric Ten Hag and the players which we're backing now, right? We back the manager. we back. But the football club's been disrespecting itself for 17 years, people.
Yeah.
Even when Fergie was papering over the cracks. So please, save me all that purse clutching, you know what I mean? Pearl or purse clutching, save me all that. Disrespect. What are you talking about?
They betrayed me.
Listen, he didn't disrespect no football club, man. The football club disrespected it itself because we're owned by vultures.
Yeah.
So you need to get through to that. So I'll go to you, Tom, first. Let's give Saeed to get some water. We're just doing a bit. It got a bit heated in the last bit of the straight.
Yeah.
Get some hydration in. Get some hydration.
I'm gonna get some water now.
So Tom, I just want you to get to the heart of the matter. Right? With all this that's going on, when Man United are trending and everything that's going on.
Yep.
As Ronaldo has the right to lash out to try to get out of Man United when the club basically takes him, like they did to Pogba. Yes or no?
If I'm being totally honest, this player, he wanted to go in the summer and he didn't get his wish, did he? At the end of the day. And I think a lot of people forget that even before this interview. And yes, we haven't seen the full extent of the interview and everything like that. But to name people, it's all right, one thing to name them by job title, but to publicly name these people, like he has done, Erik ten Hag, like he will probably do with some senior executives. I expect him to come out with certain names. I expect him to come out with his agent's name, stuff to do with his family as well. I expect a lot of things to become publicized with the names. But one thing with a lot of people, and one quote I always use in football is, you either stay at football long enough to become the villain, or you get out leaving on a high as being the hero.
Yeah.
And he left this football club as a hero when he left the first time.
Yeah.
And he's come back to 500 grand a week, to an unstable, structured team.
Yeah.
No leadership from the coaching department, because you've had 3 coaches in 12 months. Listen, some of the things that Cristiano has said, I'll be honest, I do agree with. In terms of, for example, Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick, in many cases, probably shouldn't have been brought in as an interim manager or as a coach. He should have been brought in as a sporting director. He should have been brought in as an advisor to the club in some acumen or some pedigree, because from the recruitment point of view, you had 4 candidates. You went for the one who'd not coached in 10 years. When he comes out with stuff like that, I can understand Cristiano's point. But when you're cussing the new manager who has walked into the door, and Cristiano, unfortunately, you might be the greatest player of all time. You're not under scrutiny. You're not above authority.
Exactly.
If a new manager comes in and says, listen, I don't care if you've won all these medals, if you won all these trophies. How many years ago was it? How many years ago was it since you lifted the Ballon d'Or? How many years ago was it since you lifted the Champions League, the Premier League? How many years ago was it since you lifted the trophy, Cristiano? How many years ago? No manager wants to come into a football club. If a new manager wants to come into a football club and says, look, you don't suit my style of football and you're not for me, where do you go? You go in the bin and you go in the door. And I go back to a similar point with Pep Guardiola, for example. There was a much-loved player at Manchester City named Yaya Toure. He was a much-loved player in that dressing room by the fans and by the directors. Pep steamrolled in there and said, nah, you ain't for me, Yaya. Goodbye, see you later. And you never heard a whistle from him again. And then who did he go out there and buy? He went and did some proper recruitment, and he got one of the best midfielders in the world in Kevin De Bruyne to take his place. And Manchester City have never looked back in that creative midfielder role since. It's same operating, same tenacity, if you like. But for him to come out and say what he said, listen, we don't know the full interview. And I think that is one thing that I think we need to wait on. Before we go in.
There's a couple of clips tonight, apparently.
Yeah, before we go in balls deep, I want to see the full 90-minute interview. Because if we're going to pass judgment now on where the blame goes or who's at fault for what, I don't really understand it. But I think from Cristiano's point of view, he's wanted to do this a while. Because I remember, I'll make this final point. I remember Ralph say, I think it was one of the journalists said in an interview, they questioned Ralph and said that Cristiano in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, he's going to come public and he's going to speak out publicly about something. From my understanding, from what I know, the interview was recorded on Friday. This was afterwards when he was told he would not be in the matchday squads, or he wouldn't. Sorry, he wasn't in the starting 11 for Aston Villa.
That changed
He then told the club that he was ill because he went to the medical department on the Thursday. They then ruled him out because they said don't come back on the training ground on Friday if you are ill and sick. So then they completely ruled him out of the matchday squad to play Fulham at the weekend. And on that Friday where the medical department have told him not to come in to be ill, from my understanding, is the day when this recording of the interview was taken place. After the Aston Villa game, where he was told he would not be making the starting 11. And then when he was told that, he then goes to the medical department a couple of hours afterwards, after he's told the team selection, and says that he's not well and he's unwell and he's going home. Because anybody who wants to go and check the dates, it's in the media, it's in the news, to go and check that Cristiano Ronaldo left training early on, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Wednesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, just before the Aston Villa game on the Thursday, when he was told that he wasn't going to be in the squad for selection. And then the interview was recorded on Friday, and then it's come out obviously on Sunday. And you know what? Erik ten Hag ain't going to have to answer any questions for a couple of weeks. Cristiano ain't going to have to answer any questions unless he gets pulled for interview at the World Cup. So it's, in a way, it's perfect timing for both clubs to get the story straight. But we'll see if there's any more resolve to come from it. But we need to see the full interview, in my opinion.
Big up, Tom. Yeah, definitely. I think what's really interesting is that the bits about not respecting Erik ten Hag and that are quite damning.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that.
Absolutely.
See that all. But big up Irfan as well. Irfan's joining us.
Big up Irfan, man. It's finally good to meet you again.
Oh, Blocker.
Been a while.
Yeah,
been a while,
Blocker says, Lol, you're preaching about Glazers being a virus of the club. So why would you clickbait title? No, because there are certain people who think Ronaldo is more of a virus at this football club than the Glazers. And that's the reason why I put that up. You might not think Block. You yourself might not think that Block, right? But the other people on this, they don't. They think everything's fine at Man United. Everything's happy and Larry. That's how
the top Reds.
I meet them every day, mate. Every day I come across. Why are you always banging on about the Glazers? Why they owners? No owners of big football clubs are good anyway. They're not good people. So what? You support the club. That's it. Get behind the club. What club? What club are you talking about? So big up. Listen, big up, Irfan. I'll ask the question again, and I've answered, and it's right on the heading. Cristiano Ronaldo was signed. We're talking about who's to blame for the situation now, Irfan.
Yeah, but remember, we got into this last night, remember? I already know what I'm going to say. I already know what you're going to ask me. I already know what to say.
No, but to me, we're diving in more because we were talking, we were interrupted by these quotes, and they were all fresh, and we were just laughing, to be fair.
I remember we said last night, but you remember what we said last night? Remember, one of the last things we said last night was, let's see if this goes everywhere in the media tomorrow. Because obviously, from our perspective, we want to put more pressure on the Glazers to get these bastards out, okay? And we were hoping that the part of Ronaldo, what he said, where he said the facilities are shoddy, the club still hasn't passed Ferguson, post-Ferguson era. We're left behind. The reason the club is fallen its arse because it hasn't moved on. The lack of professionalism, vulture club, all those things wrong that we hate about Man United, which has caused it to drop so far so quickly. That was the positive part we wanted. But remember, we also touched on the ego of Ronaldo. But for us as fans, we want the Glazers out. We wanted Ronaldo to talk about all the things that were wrong with the Glazers, but we were also going to call Ronaldo out for his ego bullshit. But I also, if I was to cut Ronaldo some slack, I would say he's an old guy coming towards the end of his career. He's lost a child. He's got one ill. So there's a human element we have to look at, but that's a small part of it. The biggest part of it is the fact that he chose to do this because his, washing his dirty laundry in public because his ego is so big. Now, people are saying that he's going to destroy his legacy. He's going to destroy his legacy as a Man United footballer. Look, we're all going to make judgments. And Nuruddin's already mentioned how toxic the club is, how dumb. Dare I say, I don't want to use that word, but people they just don't think about all the issues around it, this guy. And at the end of the day, we see a positive in this, we see a negative. The negative is Piers Morgan, the negative is the ego, right?
It's a Sun newspaper.
Can I ask you a question,
It's been everywhere, Nuruddin. It's been absolutely everywhere, right? And can I just say one thing, though? Can I just say one thing? Legally, they can't sack him for this. You can't get sacked for being mouthy and shit like that. You got to do much bigger stuff, like Cantona would do with his kung fu kickers. That's how they can get rid of you. You can't get rid of you just for bad mouthing them. It doesn't work that way.
Apparently, they're checking.
All day I have.
Can I ask you a question, Irfan?
Yeah.
Do you question his motivation behind what he said about the Glazers? Because I feel like for me, I already know what's going on. You know what I mean? Even Rich and Arnold came out and talked about the training ground and how the money wasn't spent. My question is, did he use it as justification for what he did? That's my thing. And also, in his own way, is it as well?
Okay, but let's us not be Jorge Mendes. Let's be Ronaldo's PR, right? You come to me and say, look, I'm going nowhere. I'm not getting a club. They're not giving me. They're not respecting who I am. I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time, and they're disrespecting me, right? Let's just try and be his. Let's be his agents now, right? His PR manager. Look, guys, I got to do something about. I'm not getting picked in the team. I don't get the passes. They don't play for me. I'm what's going on? I'm the greatest of all time. What's going on? And you go to him and say, okay, look, we got a couple of options. We can do this. Who have we got that can help us out? Oh, hang on, we got Piers Morgan, right? Okay, so I say to Ronaldo now, look, all right, spin it so that you get all your grievances about not being picked in the team as a footballer, but be smart enough to call out the Glazers because they have fucked up the club. Let's do that. And that's basically what's happened here. The beauty for us, though, if it was to be very Machiavellian about this and be very dark about this, is that it's happened just at the right time because nothing's happening for a month now, is it? How long is the World Cup?
Well, it's a month depending on if you get
right. So basically, if you're very clever in terms of, this, Tom, news management, this gives it enough time to not disrupt the changing room to a degree because the changing room is away. Shit ain't happening. Right. He also wins because he's aired his grievances. The public win, as in the establishment media, because let's face it, everyone's on the field day. Click, because all the news channels they're all getting smart. Yeah, look, this is a great story that even the housewives are going to talk about. So we've got that element, right? We win to a degree because we want the bastard Glazers out and talk about more incompetence from them. So we win. So there's lots of ways to look at this, but
everybody wins here, fan. Really.
Everybody wins it. Everyone's win. Everyone was winning here. But me and Nuruddin and you guys as well, Saeed, Tom, we just want the part of it where they explain the Glaze, put more heat on the Glazers to let everyone know that this once great football club has been destroyed by these vultures. And that's what we want people to concentrate on. But we also don't want him to destroy morale of Ten Hag and the team, what they're trying to build. That's how we balance it. That's how I see it.
The point where I disagree with you, Irfan, and I want to bring Saeed into this point, is that what he did yesterday by not letting the club know, that's on his contract. As a footballer, when you're doing an interview, it has to be, you have to get it through.
They signed NDAs.
Like the media, the PR machine of the club, you have to allow it. So what Ronaldo did yesterday is a sackable offence. It's subordination. Because he's talking about club business while he's still a Manchester United player. If he was not a Manchester United player, nothing. They can't sue him. They can't do nothing to him. But he's still officially registered as a Manchester United player, so they can. Because football contracts work differently. By the way, those who want to know, big up Khalid for Medina Lassie, 21st. So 3 days after the World Cup final, we've got our first game. Burnley at home.
Imagine a press conference for that, Imagine a press conference for that game.
Listen, it's crazy. But I just want to go to what they're saying. For me, the biggest thing is this. We know this club does not let players go. It cages them in 3 ways, right? In 3 ways. 1, it gives them and their agents a money they can't refuse. 2, when they're crap, it says to the players, "Oh, you can go on loan. That means you come back, right? Yeah. 3, you got to stay there and just see it out like Pogba. Ronaldo was the wrong one. The wrong one that they picked. Ronaldo came out, I think it was the 7th or the 3rd of August, and said, "I'm going to tell it all." But Ronaldo at that time was promised by Jorge Mendes that he's already found him another football club. That didn't materialize, so Ronaldo couldn't do this interview. What? Tom is a journalist. he's privy to more information that we're not in a journalism world. He just went through the stuff, the time table. He went through it and said Ronaldo was told that he's not part of the squad, and I've seen those rumors as well. Ronaldo was apparently told he is part of the squad, but he won't be starting on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it. Eric Ten Hag after the Villa game in the press conference, they asked him about Ronaldo. Ronaldo said he had a minor illness, but it's not going to be made too difficult, and he should be in the squad on Sunday. But he figured out it wasn't. So now it's really interesting because Piers Morgan he's not willing to disclose the actual date that he did the interview.
No, he said it on top.
Why is he doing that? Because he knows Ronaldo was told you're not starting, but you're part of the squad, right? So that's where we get to. Club statement here says Manchester United knows media coverage regarding interview by Cristiano Ronaldo. The club was credited its response in full facts once full facts have been established, right? As it goes, Man U have said our focus remains preparing for the second half of the season and continuing the momentum, the belief, the togetherness being built among the players, managers, staff, and fans. There we go. Glory, glory, but United.
You gotta expect that, Nerdin. You gotta expect that. That's a professional reply from their behalf.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
Neil Ashton.
It's a classic Neil Ashton reply. Classic.
Knock this out in 2 seconds, by the way. Saeed, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the three different things. Can people argue that Ronaldo's been backed into a corner because Manchester United thought that they could get a transfer for him in August, and his agent didn't find a club willing to pay that amount of money because the clubs who could have bought him were worried about the $500,000 a week that he wanted as part of a weekly wage.
He calls himself. I'm sorry, but I think for me, full blame has to go on to Ronaldo.
Well, can you argue? The point is, can you argue that because they didn't let him go, knowing that Pogba finally got his wish? Why? When he walked away because his contract come to an end. And twice before when he asked to leave, the club were like, you ain't going nowhere.
I think naturally as a football club, you're not going to willing to let someone leave until there's a plan in it, because obviously they have to find a successor. They have to find a replacement. So at that point there, they didn't envisage Ronaldo leaving. So it was a shock. Maybe the protocol has to be different for Ten Hag. Maybe he says, right, the player has to come up to me and say, I want to leave. Again, it wasn't explained to Ten Hag. So the whole way Ronaldo went about it for me was wrong. He didn't explain it to the manager. Then it became a situation where he didn't report back to training. Then we found out it was because of obviously his daughter was ill and etc. etc. Then people were like, okay, right, he's come back into the team. Then Rayo Vallecano, this situation happened. That was almost like a slap in the face to Ten Hag again. It's like, right, I trusted you now. Right, you're back in there now. And I just think for me, a lot of this has been caused by Ronaldo. And people talk about communication. Ronaldo's the one that's not communicating to the manager. Ronaldo's the one that's just storming away from when we win.
But Saeed, you're missing the human element of this. You know, Saeed, you try to imagine that you were the greatest player of all time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's try to imagine you were the greatest player of all time. So you have to remember there's a fall from grace here. He has to come to terms and look in the mirror. I'm not the same player I used to be. So that is part of the equation too. That's the human element of it.
You have to listen to the manager.
Listen, I don't think anybody disagrees with you. Ronaldo's child was sick in the summer, just 15%.
I've already said I was very jelly.
No. Let me just read this, right? He says, Ronaldo was sick, child was sick in the summer, 15% of the story. As to why Ronaldo missed the preseason, the other 85% was him playing for time whilst Mendes was negotiating all around Europe. That's facts. Saeed, there's no United fan or any football fan that is telling you that Ronaldo was not disrespected, and actually that Eric Ten Hag has played a blinder and actually shown how humane he is by
absolutely
going out of his way. Now, Piers Morgan, for the clips that I saw today, was insinuating there's two different sides to Eric Ten Hag. Get out of here, man. And then he's the manager of the football club. If Ronaldo was purely...
Yeah, but no, not just that. No, not just that. The bastard's a big time Arsenal supporter, so he's got the knife up for Man United, remember. There's also that part of him. And the main part for Piers Morgan was, hey, everyone, look, I'm still the main presenter in town. Look what... That's the main part from Piers.
It's funny how
unless it bigs up Piers.
You know what? Let Saeed finish up the point that he was.
I just for me. I empathize about the situation with his children and whatnot and etc. etc. But I think the way he's gone about it for me is a case of, throwing his dummy out the pram. And I think for me, he hasn't dealt with every situation that's come his way in terms of being professional. He hasn't done that. He hasn't communicated to the manager. If they've had a chat and the manager has spoken to him, then all of a sudden he does another thing on top of that. So Ten Hag has just got to the point now where he's like, you know what, I'm going to be the better man. I'm going to give him the captaincy. And people might say disagree with that one. I think ultimately, he's being the better man. He doesn't want to make a situation. Because I feel like for me, it isn't Erik Ten Hag versus the manager. This is Ronaldo versus the Glazers. And Erik Ten Hag is obviously stuck in the middle because he has to keep a boat with the Glazers because obviously he's the manager. He's not that I'm saying that he's going to abide by their rules. Obviously, they do employ him. But then he's got to make sure Ronaldo is there for the team and doesn't become a disruption. And all of a sudden, he's took it out on Erik Ten Hag. When in reality, I think his real beef is with the other guys in John Murto, in probably Richard Arnold. There's some situation where they may have blocked his move. They may have done. But ultimately,
they have. They have.
Well, there you go then. But we'll find out today. We'll find out tomorrow and Thursday with the quotes.
Listen, big up everybody. Please smash a like on the video. There's nearly like 250 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And please do, after this, go and check out the Straight Jacket podcast because it was very interesting. The trio's back together. Aaron was there. I was there for the second week. Well, big up to everybody. Get on Saturday TV. Road to 100k people. Hardest working YouTuber on
Appreciate it, man.
Big up. I say it's simple, people. Right, Tom, I'm going to come to you with this question. For me, every problem on Man United goes back to where, at the end of the day, the people at the top who, if they were paying attention, that would realize that Ronaldo coming back, if they wanted to make money, they needed to take a tight grip on him. That the Ronaldo could not be the Ronaldo where he was at every other club because Ronaldo will come out and say things because he's got, 1 billion subscribers on fucking Instagram. I don't give a fuck about these things. I care about what happens on the football pitch. But as you know, that deep incompetency runs so deep. I don't agree with many things Rio Ferdinand says. Many things what Rio Ferdinand says. But I agree with this. When Ronaldo on the 7th of August said, I'm going to come out and tell it all and tell everybody the truth. He said that. He wasn't being effing cryptic. He said that on a Twitter post and he said on an Instagram post. What were the dosy dummies like Neil Ashton and Richard Arnold doing? They weren't doing nothing. So in this thing, actually, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Get ready. The fact that Ronaldo's done this, the Glazers are actually loving it. You know why? What's in the last 24 hours, what's in the news?
Front and back page, yeah.
Who's there?
Name Man United, and the brand Man United was all over the place.
Right.
That was
And in modern PR, I know people who work in specifically modern PR. You know what they say to me? There's no such a thing as controversy anymore. It's PR, and PR. So here's why I come back to Tom. Who's winning? Who's winning from this? Who's winning from this right now? Tom?
Who's winning from this? I mean,
difficult, man.
It's difficult to call, like we say, because I'm not speaking in a political
Tom, you already know the answer. You know the answer. You know the answer.
I'm not touching the question.
Let's break it down for you, Tom. Piers has won. You agree with me? Piers has won.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. United, if they get him off the books, which is what they want to do, we don't know that, but I'm thinking to do.
They have to.
They win.
Irfan, I don't know where Irfan, let me stop you there. What Ronaldo did is the exit interview. Read my...
Okay, all right, okay. Let's agree on that. Okay, let's agree on that. Okay, let's agree on that.
Let me explain to you. I play Saturday and Sunday league football, right? There's managers that I hated. I didn't like them.
Yeah.
I didn't like them. But you know what? Manager's word was final.
Yeah.
You might not like the manager. You might have to get on with the manager, but you have to respect the manager.
Hang on a second. Wait a second.
No, let me finish.
Well, I agree with you, but there's a but. There's a but narrative. There's a but.
Manager, he can't get back in
the No, come on. You've watched football long enough. You have watched football long enough, right? Remember, we've talked about this many times before. Dealing with average players and dealing with goats and players like goats. You know, the Messi as well. The Mbappe. How do you think people are dealing with Mbappe at the moment? You know, I'm just coming back at you. Remember, I'm trying to give you another side to the discussion. How do you think managers like in clubs like PSG are dealing with Mbappe when Mbappe is basically saying, "This is how you play. This is what I want in a team. This is how you play." And this is what United had with Ronaldo and Real Madrid and all his life. All the big managers have to deal with this. Now let's go to Ten Hag. Right, I just made a point. Ten Hag has handled this amazingly well, in my opinion. Very, very well. The fact he gave him the captaincy last week as well. No one can say to him, the fans can't say to Ten Hag, you've been giving this guy loads of shit. Rightly so. And he showed his maturity and what I call a balanced mind to deal with a very difficult situation that a lot of managers were able to do. So I well respected Ten Hag, right? And the media are lapping it up because everyone's up all day. So like you said before, Tom, you said it before, everyone's a winner. Whether we like it or not. We just want, like I said, I'll repeat, we just want that side where the Glazers gets exposed and puts more pressure on the fact that their high-level incompetence destroyed the club. That's what we want. And then also we don't want this to destroy the morale and confidence of the young players team. That's what we don't want. And these are the basic things we're juggling.
Tom, let me just get the super chat quickly. Don't defend CR7. We're not defending him. I'm saying, to me, my argument is central. The whole reason why Ronaldo is here is because of the Glazers, because of their money. The reason why he feel like he's been portrayed, they didn't give him any empathy, is when his child was in hospital. It's because they made deals for him to go on a tour to the Far East after not going on tour for 2 seasons because of the pandemic.
COVID,
yeah. People don't understand that football clubs make massive. They sign commercial deals in all over the world when they take a football club.
But Nuruddin, you know that's the reason they bought him. They bought him for clicks. You told him that, and look, even if his career is waning, they don't give a shit because at the end of the day, he's still a superstar in those markets. He's still a superstar. He's still got his followers. It's just business for them. That's all it is.
I just want to go to big up. Lol Pant says, I wanted to leave after the first day. Sanchez, exactly.
Oh, you remember that one as well?
yeah. Listen. What Ronaldo was saying about the football club in terms of infrastructure, it's nothing new, people. People have been saying this. I'm trying to find it. Right, here it is. Big up Izzo. Izzo says, facts, Glazers are going to win from this. The media spin, Ronaldo will make Man United and the Glazers one entity, making the Glazers escape once again. But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about all this in general, I mean, who's winning and who's not? Well, like me, Irfan said, like we've all just agreed on, everybody's a winner in this because everybody's taking their piece out of the cut. Piers Morgan wins because he gets good publicity for him, might get him a couple more followers on Twitter or Instagram, whatever he uses.
He's got more jobs, etc.
He gets more jobs. Yeah. He gets more. Listen, the amount of viewership that he will have got from just those little onto his new talk show TV. The amount of viewership that he will have got from that, and because it includes Cristiano Ronaldo, the brand of that, it includes Manchester United, it includes all of these different things. And you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and how big that brand is on its own, and you talk about Manchester United on its own, but you put both of them together, bang. Suddenly it blows up Twitter. Because all I heard trending about, I think it was about 10 o'clock or I can't remember what time it was, about 11 o'clock last night, was Ronaldo, Man United, all this, the other. But I think even in these circumstances, I think Erik ten Hag deserves a lot more respect in terms of his personality and in terms of his character, because this man came in and the first 2 weeks, the media took the absolute piss with him. If I'm being completely honest and raw and frank, I know it from my personal job that I do and my role in what I operate in. Those journalists were taking the piss out of him with some of the questions. They're writing stories about his personality. He's got no authority. He can't control. He can't dictate a dressing room. He doesn't have the pedigree of managing big players and big egos. He just dealt with the biggest ego of a player when he walked down the tunnel. And in many cases, the way Erik ten Hag molds it is he's had superstar players. There's a story of a young player anyway at Ajax, and his name was David Neres. He was one of the brilliantest young players in that Ajax team when they had that successful spell in the Champions League. Was a right wing and Brazilian, very similar in the mold of how Anthony plays right now. But he had a complete barmy with Erik ten Hag. He refused to go on the pre-season tour with the players because he wanted to move. He wanted to leave. Similar in the mold and the way of Cristiano wants to do right now, on a lesser scale.
Yeah.
Do you know what he did when he was their superstar player? He exiled him and he went to where? Benfica. And he didn't give a care in the world. And you know what? He went to Brazil. He saw a young player in Anthony. He thought, yeah, I'm having a bit of that. Bang, you bring Anthony in. Never missed David Neres since. But at the end of the day,
by the way, this is
it is taking the piss. But listen, at the end of the day, if Cristiano Ronaldo wants to come out and portray that it's Erik ten Hag's fault, it's all these other people's faults, I just don't see how the media can portray Erik ten Hag, because you can't eat your cake and have it. If you want to give it in the way that you did, by saying that he has no authority, but he disciplined one of the greatest players of all time, suspended him from the squad, exiled him from training, wasn't even allowed to attend team briefings, meetings, calls, wasn't even allowed to do his own personal training at Carrington. When you completely exile the man from the squad, and all Cristiano Ronaldo has done for the past 4 to 5 months, if we're being honest, he's took the piss of Manchester United.
Yeah.
He took the piss out of the directors. He took the piss out of the Glazer family. Out of us fans as well, I think he's taken the piss, because you say you have all these different illnesses. You're in Portugal. You're ill. You don't go on pre-season tour. But then your agent comes out and says that you're looking at moving. You then put in a transfer request. And we don't need to get in the story of if the club wanted to let him leave, or if or not, because if the club didn't want to let him leave,
Tom, that's vital.
But it is vital, Nuruddin. But hang on. Let me make this last point. Though.
Yeah, let me make this last point.
With Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think at this tail end of his career it is about money, because he had an offer before he came to Manchester United that I only found out about 2 days ago, from the Middle East, to play from a Saudi Arabian club where he was going to get paid £375 million to play 2 seasons. And that would have been £375 million over 2 seasons. And if you work the maths out, to pay that much at the end of the tail end of your career, even to add on to it all of his extra earnings, the brand, the appeal, is Cristiano Ronaldo. If you wanted to make the money and make the dough, it's there. But with Ronaldo, it is ultimately up to him. But the way Erik ten Hag has operated himself in these circumstances, I think he showed he's a big-time player. I think he's earned more respect from the dressing room, because I don't think any of these players want to rub him up the wrong way and want to take the piss out of him, because he's disciplined one of the greatest players of all time. But the one thing I like with the club is the club aren't exactly throwing Erik ten Hag under the bus. They have backed him the whole way through this Ronaldo saga. They backed his decision to try and remove him from the squad in the summer and find him another club. They backed him when he suspended him from the Spurs game. And I would fully expect them to back him now. And ultimately, you can't sack Cristiano Ronaldo. You can't terminate his contract until you know the full facts of the interview.
Tom, can I just stay with you on this point? Ed says the lot is basically, they asked the lot the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I saw a video where they asked they were asking him about that Man United dressing room. Who's the funniest guy? Who dresses this? And they said, who's your best friend? And he said Cristiano Ronaldo. So obviously looks up to him. Says Ponce asked the lot sometimes arrives with Ronaldo in training. I hardly believe the lot will side with United on this one. And I even think Ronaldo told him to leave to Madrid since they want him. What do you think about that?
It's hard, isn't it? Because, like you say, there's a human element and there's a personal element with Diogo Dalot. Because when he...
This picture, by the way, this picture tells 1,000...
It does tell 1,000 words. But the one thing that I would say in regards to Diogo Dalot is he's in a tight situation because he's number one choice in Erik ten Hag's plans right now. But he's got his best friend, Cristiano Ronaldo, who is in hot water. The kettle was simmering, and he's poured it all over Manchester United, and he's absolutely scolded them. So, ultimately, I think it will come down to picking sides. And if it's in Diogo Dalot's best interests, he's going to have to side with Manchester United. Otherwise, I'm sorry, Diogo, you go out the door with your best friend Cristiano then.
I just want to let Irfan know, Irfan, this photo is from a couple of hours ago. This is in Portugal's training ground.
Yeah, this is in Lisbon, by the way. For anybody
but no, I mean, okay, look. So let me just add a little bit to that. So, how do you think his relationship is like with Bruno at the moment in regard to looking at this image now? How do you see that?
Not as cozy it is with Diogo Dalot.
It's not as cozy, no.
No.
Why'd you say that?
Because Bruno, since he's become captain, you can see his body language on the football pitch. He's not as close to Ronaldo or looking up to Ronaldo as he was. He acts like he's the captain when he's on the football pitch when Ronaldo's there. But Saeed, I'll ask the question. Look, Saeed.
One last thing, then, Nuruddin, just that. So, are you saying that when he arrived, the Portuguese guys were sort of were living under his shadow, basically? Yeah,
100%.
and that's probably not a good thing in terms of trying to break free from it to a degree. Obviously, there's a bit of guidance, a bit of respect, but obviously they need to break free and be their own players. So there is the element of that as well in this.
Yeah, Saeed, what do you think? Big Ola said Diogo Dalot arrives with Ronaldo in training. I hardly believe Dalot will side with United on this one. I even think Ronaldo would tell him to leave from Madrid since they want him. What do you think?
Nah, I don't think so. I think I think we overlooked Dalot's mind. I think right now he's doing something at Man United that's working out at the minute. Obviously, loyalty we can never question it, because Ronaldo said in an interview, "Why you always ask me this question? I'm here to stay." And then a week later, he was gone. So loyalty. There's no loyalty in football anyway nowadays. So, but for me, I think Dalot's got his own mind. I think he looks a bit uncomfortable there. But this for me just tells more about Portugal. And they want to create more dramas. They want to create, obviously headlines for themselves and whatnot. And it is what it is for me. I want to get this over and done with. And I think for me, the sooner the better. I think United are somehow saying that he can terminate his contract and that he does not demand compensation for the remainder of his contract. Okay, so he has breached something out of his contract then. So that is good news, because at the end of the day, I think for me, it deserves it, because Roy Keane did a similar thing, didn't he? He did an interview and then, boom, he was gone. So, listen.
At the end of the day, simple. You know what? Somebody was telling me to shut up. I just wanted to get this point out.
Who said that? It's around fanboys. Don't listen to them, man.
Me and Irfan were going back on phone. Somebody was saying shut up. So I just want to get this clear. The idea of Ronaldo putting on a shirt for Man United is done. That was the exit interview. Once you say you disrespect the manager, that don't mean you have to love the manager, you have to like the manager, you can hate the manager, but you have to respect his decisions. Once you say that, you can't get back into that dressing room. So that's the point I wanted to make. Apologies if I didn't let Irfan finish. It's just the way it is. I am who I am, my friends. I can't change it. My mother told me when I was a week old.
What's going on? What are you apologizing for? Huh?
My mother, as a week old, said, "Don't you ever change, son." I was a week old. I couldn't even speak. So it just tells you. All right.
I don't understand. What are you apologizing for?
No, I'm not apologizing. I'm just letting them know. Like, somebody was like, "Oh, shut up," to let you finish. But I'm like, no, I want Irfan to get this into his head.
Right. I got it.
Once you disrespect the manager, say, "I don't respect the manager," you can't come back into that dressing room. You cannot. There is no way.
No, don't you think he's been disrespected before, and still Ten Hag's handled it really well?
No.
This wouldn't be the first time.
Disciplinary procedure. There's disciplinary. There's a disciplinary procedure. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. There's over 300 of you in here. And if I haven't got 150 likes, there's no point in you talking to me. Honestly, you're all a disgrace.
We're just past 100, I think. So make sure you like the video, people.
Listen, you're all a disgrace if it comes to me. You're all a disgrace.
I don't get it. You're not going to get analysis like this anywhere else. Come on, guys. Come on, man.
To me, when I look at this, I look at what's the most consistent. Every controversy that's happened in the last 10 years at Man United, or in the last 17 years, what's the most consistent thing in this football club?
Glazers.
That needs to change.
Glazers.
You know what? I was on Twitter. I remember people came and hated me for it. I was like, I don't want Ronaldo at this football club. I was like, let him go to City. Let people were coming at me. People like Saeed and that were dancing because the thought of Ronaldo with a City shirt was going to kill them because the legacy was destroyed. I am actually glad, and there's videos on the Straight Jacket podcast of me saying Ronaldo is coming to. There's two things.
Is this another one I told you so, Nord? Is this what you're trying to do now here?
Come on now. What did I say? What did I say to you? Ronaldo can be a blessing or a what?
Yeah.
Or a curse.
Or tragedy, yeah, or a curse.
Yeah. And I said, this was the end game. The end game wasn't Ronaldo getting a statue. Ronaldo, to me, tells the biggest lies in that interview. Here's where he lies. He lies when he says, oh, they betrayed me. No, nobody betrayed Ronaldo. He's just not good enough anymore. Nobody betrayed you. And do I believe him?
This is ego.
Listen, do I believe him when the hierarchy didn't have any sympathy for him, for his child, and they wanted him to go to the preseason tour? Yes, I can believe that. Because at the top, people get to the top of companies, get to the top of football clubs are psychopaths. They are psychopaths. They're not good people. I'm telling you now. They're not. They just ask about the pennies. They only ask about the money. But the bit where Ronaldo says, people wanted me out last year. Ronaldo, come on now. Where's the Jackie Nori stories? You wanted out, lad. You wanted out. Mendes is not what he used to be back in the day as a super agent. He's no longer that guy anymore. He couldn't find you that football club. To me, I look at this football club and I think people need to start focusing. And the reason why I'm going to hear and listen and I'm going to amplify what Ronaldo was saying about the Glazers and the infrastructure is because you know what? Not all of you guys who know, not everybody's like us. That's the biggest thing people assume. People assume that we're all alike. We're all the same. No, we're not. There are loads of fans who are Mayweather fans at Man United. They're not. They like United. They go watch the games. But they're not asked about what the Glazers do to this football club.
Bro, it's a lot, man.
Wait a second, already.
Let me finish the sentence. So when those fans who don't really care about what the Glazers are doing to the football club, who love Ronaldo, they now can see. So he's not talking to you or me or Irfan or you, Therapy Army.
But then you get the other side of it, though.
Guys who are not don't look into things as deep, who think everything is fine and the Glazers are fine.
No, can I just say though? I'm going to second side. What it is where I just want to add to what you're saying is, you said about the varying opinion of the fans. What you got to remember is, and I hear this actually not just from United fans, I hear from other fans, is that look, you can take away all incompetence. You can take about the poisonous glaze. You can take all that out. Who has had a budget to play with that United have had to play with? And they just say that as a stone cold fact. How many clubs have got the money that United have? Even if they've wasted it all, who's had that kind of money? So their logic is that you've got money that only certain clubs have. You used to have it for years when no one had it. And then you complain about the Glazers in competition. I'm just saying, this is what I hear. I'm just giving an example. And we have United fans. We have United fans who also think like that. Look how much money is being given. So you understand? You can't think beyond the wider issues of the damage and how the money's been badly spent.
The biggest point is that those fans need to understand, one, it's not the Glazers' money. Two, that is gross misconduct. That if they did that to a company, you will go down. In China, they'll lock you up, mate, for life because you're playing with people's lives. That's how it works.
No, but Nuruddin, that's an abstract. That is, you say that, but this is not. The fans, they're not like. Look, we don't have fans that own the clubs. It's not Germany. We don't have that. We have a different relationship. Ours is a deeply capitalistic, dare I say, relationship where they're meant to be looking after us. They're meant to be looking at the goodwill towards the fans. That's meant to happen. They're meant to think, oh, it's a fans club, but we're not, because we were taken over by the biggest capitalists in the world, the Americans. And we were rinsed because we were a massive brand. And the idea of looking after supporters is just a joke. Half of them have played, but ones like you, Nuruddin, who care, and the percentage you do care, are trying to call out the other fans to say, look, you're being shafted all day long. They don't care about you. But that's not everyone. Not everyone sees it that way. I'm just saying. Otherwise, if we had everyone on board, the protest towards the Glazers would be far bigger. Am I wrong? Am I right? You tell me.
I think for me, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know, man. I don't know if this makes a mockery of what we're trying to do in the bit, because I feel like for me, it doesn't stop by Ronaldo saying what he said. It has to happen from the fans as well. So I think a lot of it isn't, you know what I mean, the kind of the infrastructure, whatnot. A lot of it has to come down to the fans as well. So I hope people don't look at this thing. If Ronaldo says something about this now, then that means the Glazers will go. The fight lives on after. And this is what I want to mention to a lot of people. The fight doesn't stop after Ronaldo, by the way. So I hope people are not naive to think that. You know what I mean? Because I think for me, a lot of what people say isn't enough, man. We've got to do more.
Let me say something to you now.
Do you know what I mean, Nordin?
Yeah, 100%.
I get it, man.
Listen, 100%. Any fight or any sort of revolution always comes from the people. It never comes from direct.
Exactly, man.
It always has to come from the people. I just want to give you these things down now. Jude Bellingham, they rolled out Fergie to show him around the training facilities. Jude Bellingham looked at that. His father looked at that. Like, the Man United ain't for you. Because of the infrastructure, because of how neglected, the negligence, just the due negligence, right? In all of the football structure in this football club, right? Do you think Man United can really attract a young coming up striker, a young coming up, unless it's come from our youth team? Or if you're even a world star, world beater on top of your peak, can Man United attract him regardless how much wages they pay him? Knowing that actually the infrastructure of this football club has not changed in 17 years.
Yeah, but Nuruddin, another wider question from that, though, is because, look, I try to look at it beyond just the football. I always try to look at the business, commercial aspect, the capitalist aspect. I try to look at that. Now, you know, and I know that we're not getting players purely for footballing terms. We're getting players who are, let's say, good to average players who are getting paid silly wages. That's how we're getting them. And those players know they're getting paid. Sancho didn't come to Man United because he thought, I'm going to be the greatest thing in the world. He came to Man United because he was getting paid serious dough as well. Okay, let's be honest about that. And that's in the room. That's what we need to talk about. Don't you think?
Same with Anthony.
Same with Anthony. They're getting paid silly money, you know, and that's the bottom line. We're not getting those players anymore. And it shows, like you said yesterday, when we played Fulham yesterday, you were talking about Paulinho, the fact that the guy cost 15 million. When is the last time United bought a player that was 10, 15 million? That was the business. You know,
by the way, breaking news. Man United are hitting back at some of the comments from Ronaldo. Let me just get this big up Khalis from Benilasi. Man UFC are privately unhappy at some of the specific allegations. Ronaldo pointed out that kitchen staff haven't been changed. The upgrades have been made. Listen, to the gym, the training ground is different to the one the Portuguese left in 2009.
They've brought in a new microwave in the kitchen. That's what they've done. The new microwave in the kitchen.
No, they painted the walls again. They painted the walls, yeah?
The walls. By the way, the roof's still leaking, by the way. The roof's still leaking. I'm surprised they never said anything about the roof.
Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, right? Become part of the therapy army, people. You've got to be.
I got a question for you, Nurin, actually. I got a question for you, right?
Big up Khalis, by the way. Chief Editor, United Real Therapy. Big up.
Yeah. Let me just ask you a question, Nuruddin, right? And actually, you can answer this, Saeed, as well.
Yeah.
What if Ronaldo had come out, right? And the ego wasn't the part of the conversation, right? He was quite humble about it. But he called out everything that the Glazers done. And he actually called them out by name. How would you have reacted to that then? How would you think the fan base would react to that?
I think he'd be respected for what he said. And I think for me, ultimately, but I feel like for me, that's not what the issue is. I think everybody knows what he said is right. Everybody knows. Nobody in their right mind would say what Ronaldo said about the Glazers isn't a good and a benefit to every single fan. It is. I just question the motivation and the timing of it for me.
By the way, I don't think 100% that. I think when he says it in the interview, will come out, Peter.
What if he does say it? What if he does say it that he didn't believe Ronaldo? He didn't acknowledge what he was doing. What if he does say it? And you know what? That's serious allegations. That without Ten Hag,
because you know what? I can imagine. Listen. I can 100% imagine Eric Ten Hag. He's not made it to the professional life. He's not like he's just a manager like Oli. You know what I mean? He's not managed one small club, one big club in Norway.
Far more experience.
He's far more experienced, so he understands like the human aspect of it. Like there's a human aspect to this, and that he already knows Ronaldo's professionalism from people would tell him about last season when he was, when his daughter died, and sorry, when he lost one of his twins, and then he went and played, didn't he? Somebody else has here, Ronaldo used the Glazers to cover up it. Listen, we understand that, but for me, what I'm trying to say to you is that there are loads of fans, like Air fans have said before, who say, but we've got money and we don't spend, it's the manager's fault. There are a lot of people who think like that. I've had to change so many people's minds and go, no, it's actually the way.
I've heard pundits say that on like BBC, ITV. I've heard them all the time. Talksport saying he's been given $1 billion. What the fans complaining for? The Glazers provided $1 billion for the club. I've heard it time and time again.
But they don't know what's going on at Man United. They don't know the gross misconduct, what's happening at Man United. But
but I'm telling you that is a mainstream view. That's the view on the mainstream. That's the view that is.
So when Ronaldo talks about the infrastructure, to me, Ronaldo has a lot of United fans who actually support United, but love Ronaldo. So now they all know that this club ain't getting anywhere unless there's change at the top. Like Saeed says, though, the fight is up to us. It's not about Ronaldo is gone. To me, that's why he's laughing. See on that photo, Ronaldo's laughing because he knows him and his agent have figured out a club for him to go to. Whether it's MLS, whether it's somewhere in Europe, he's gone. He knows that he's gone. Yeah. He's absolutely gone. He knows that. So that is where it is. Yeah, he can't come back. He can never come back. Once you say, I don't respect the manager, that to me, if Ronaldo comes back, Eric Ten Hag's walking. That's all I'm thinking. Eric Ten Hag is just giving his P45 on his way out. Ronaldo parks his car. Eric Ten Hag's on his way out.
So wait a second, Nuruddin. So you know, like, because this is where I'm a bit because I haven't seen the videos yet. So I just want to ask, you know, in terms of what he said about Ten Hag, he said that. What did he say about Ten Hag? He said that Ten Hag said. What did Ten Hag exactly say about him?
He says when he asked him, "Do you respect Ten Hag?" He says, "I don't respect people who don't respect me." So what he means, Ronaldo means that they don't respect him. Yeah. That means you are the greatest of the great, right? The legends, and you're going to play every minute of every game.
Even though he made him captain against Villa, you still don't respect him, yeah?
No.
Even though he's been playing chance after chance.
But that's what I mean. This video hasn't come out
Ronaldo
recently.
Because Ronaldo wants to play every minute.
No, I get that. Yeah.
Rania said to him, we can see, because me and Saeed will talk about it, that times when you're off camera, Ronaldo's fatigued. Nobody's near him and he's falling over. We said it from last season, even though he's got 24 goals.
And people, what did people say to us, Nuruddin? Ronaldo, we're toxic. You know what I mean? You don't like, bro. When you see it in the ground, I'm sorry, man. It's different when it's on TV, and I don't mean that in a way where I'm looking down on anyone. We can see where the camera isn't going, and when you can see him, he's on the floor and and the manager speaking to him, and he's looking fatigued, like half an hour into the game. We can see it, and he got the goals, and I'm not going to discredit for the goals, but he didn't tell the full story. I'm sorry, and that's why I said he looked finished in March. I said it to Statman Baines, and he was in the stadium with me that day, and he witnessed it.
So I've been banging on about that, and you know when I say that in spaces, people think I'm dissing them. I'm not. I'm not dissing. Nobody's dissing anybody. When you're at the stadium, you see the full picture. Sometimes I'm looking at movements. I'm not even following the ball.
I know.
I'm looking at.
By the way, I'm checking Donny's movement.
I've always pointed. Listen,
I've been on Donny
ADHD. Yeah, my brain is different to most people. I can focus on 3-4 different things. So when you ever sat next to me and said, "Have I always talked about what else is going on in the state?"
Yeah, Rashford and all that. Yeah.
I'm always talking about other things that are going on. But anyway, 100%. Listen, I don't care about Diego Dalot going to Madrid because the Liga, the Premier League's where is that at the moment? It's where it's where is that?
He's getting the most wages. He's going to get all the best sponsorship deals. If he goes Real Madrid, fair play, but they'll be putting the white flags out.
It just comes a right back. It becomes just a normal right back. When football reporters talk to reporters and can't let the talking be done on the pitch, instead, it's over. 100% alien tunnel. That's to me the comment of the show. We know that Ronaldo. To me, the Glazers and the bankers have put Ronaldo in a corner. He said it on his 7th of August. He said, "I'm gonna do it, tell it all." And then a couple of weeks later, or months later, Gary Neville alluded to it. I'll find the clip and I'll post it on YouTube.
He said it with Ten Hag.
But Nuruddin, can I just say as well also?
What is he going to say? And Eric Ten Hag said, what used to stop?
But Nuruddin, look, let's just talk about Ronaldo and football in a second, right? Because, you said he's got 24 goals last year, right? Now, are you amazed how big the fall is from scoring 24 last season to not scoring like he could score 5 this year? Are you not surprised by that? How massive that change? Because even I didn't expect him to drop this badly in form. You know, to really get is it show his age. I didn't expect it this much so fast.
Irfan, it's one of those things.
But just that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think about it. The guy has dropped because, well, like I said, whenever I come on your show, I always say when I watch him, he's trying to rack, but the brain is not in touch with what the body can do. You can see
Irfan, it's happened to the brain.
Slow down. But Irfan, I'm saying,
my uncle,
I don't think he expected to be dropped this badly this year. I don't think.
Irfan, but you know what? When the reality comes at certain sports people, it's because for me personally, it's the length of time he played. Ronaldo's never had any big injuries. You can imagine from the age of 17, 18.
Yeah.
At the age of 18, 19, he proper found his place in Man United, right? And then ever since then, he's played too much football. He's played too much football. And regardless of what, Irfan, regardless of how much 6-pack you got, 8-pack, 10-pack you've got, when your legs have gone through all of that, your body can't just do it. You can't do it. It's like boxers. All of these boxers, big up Saeed, by the way. But all of these boxers, right? They just fail. They can't do it anymore. The body, their mind thinks, I can still got one more in them. You start to build the narcissistic delusions in your head. And then it's those who are close to
you get knocked out. You can't get knocked out.
Of course, and then you suffer the consequences at a later time in life. At the end of the day, somebody should have managed the last quarter of Ronaldo, this part. So they should have managed it. People that he takes, people he can trust, people he can talk to, people who can say to him, look, Ronnie, you're not that guy anymore. So when a manager says you can't play, pick your games. The only manager in the history of football that literally gave him a timeline, said you're not playing on Saturday, but I want you to be fresh for Wednesday on Tuesday, was Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane was the only guy that properly managed Ronaldo. Because he told him specifically, Ronaldo, you are not playing for La Liga. I don't need you. I've got enough winners in the game to get that win, but I need you for the Champions League because that's your trophy. That's your trophy. And Ronaldo didn't realize, I can't, and my body's not the way, it's not the same as it was. I can't play 2 games in a row. But when he left Real Madrid, he thought, no, I'm going to show them I can play every week. He came to Man United, I can play every week. He can't. And at the end of the day, to me, the person who's sipping on the glass of wine as we speak right now, having a meal with his missus, is Eric Ten Hag. He's like, Ronnie, thank you so much for doing this interview. I don't have to see your ugly mug again in the dressing room. I don't have to see you moaning around. I don't have to pass on tactical instructions to you and you giving me dirty looks. I don't have to deal with any of that anymore. Exactly. This is it. 100% Esther. This is it. It's so poetic, isn't it? The level of delusion is something else. How can Ronaldo feel betrayed that people wanted him out when he wanted to leave? Exactly. And then he'll tell you, but you know what clever footballers do? They'll go, it's a deniability, innit? Possible deniability. Because they'll go, no, I didn't say it. If you didn't hear it from my mouth, then I didn't say I wanted to leave. But we know football doesn't work like that. People in your camp go around, offer you out to everybody. And then what happens, right? Then what happens? Then the deal is done. And if the deal breaks down, then when people ask you and go, you wanted to leave? No, I didn't. Did you hear it from my mouth? No, you didn't. That's how it works. Dirty game business, what football is. Big up to everyone. There's a growing sense that Cristiano will not be able to secure a leading European club. He might have to hugely reduce his demands. Of course. Ain't nobody going to pay that much. And make a homecoming to Sporting Lisbon or revise his plans and look at the MLS. Of course. It is, to me, it's destined for him to go back to Sporting Lisbon, to go home, and that would have been happy because that makes his mum happy. His mum's a regular at the games. She goes to Sporting Lisbon games.
So maybe, I mean, like I said, should have gone at the start of the year. But like I said to you before, nobody knew the fall was going to be this big from last year, did they? No one could have predicted that, did they? Could you have predicted it was going to be that big, the fall in form?
I would have, because Irfan, I told you, it comes at you fast, and you don't expect it. And him missing the preseason was a big thing, but we know we missed it because of justifiable reasons. His 3-year-old daughter is in hospital. That to me, as a father, that's your number one concern, not football. And to be fair, he kept himself fit, but still it's not match fitness. And you're not listening to the patterns of play the manager has. That's why, honestly, you ask any professional footballer, there's only few out of the thousands and millions of footballer that's ever played the game that will tell you missing a preseason and can make up the time. No, they can't. You can't cheat preseason because the manager and spending time and all of the instincts, all of the different things get ironed out towards that preseason. Those 4 weeks together, that months together is so important. But a big up Andrea says, you can't teach a monkey to fly, just like you can't teach the Glazers to spend money on infrastructure and players that work together. They spent it on shirt sellers and nothing else. And that's how it is. That's what we are as a football club.
But that's business, because they just see it as a business. Like I said, they don't care if the fans really like it or not. They just play the game. Do you understand?
So when Ronaldo's talking about the infrastructure and stuff like that, he's not talking to me or you guys. He's talking to the fans who don't know about how rotten this football club is.
I bet, did he mention the ground, the leaking, the roof leaking? He didn't mention that, did he?
Irfan, it's only snippets. At 8 o'clock tonight, there's a couple of more things coming out. He's dropping. Listen, Piers Morgan has played this as an absolute blinder. Piers Morgan is a horrible, horrid human being. He's the type of human being that was telling his journalists to listen to people's voice,
phone hacking,
phone messages with the same.
When he was editor at the Mirror. No, wait a second, Nuruddin. I don't. Let's not. Look.
Some newspaper
more than 20 years ago,
fan should have distanced themselves away from the Sun newspaper as well, and Murdoch for that matter.
Yeah, but Piers Morgan 20 years ago was a different person. What's happened? The reason this is so interesting as a neutral is because Piers Morgan's got an out of control ego like Ronaldo has, and that's it. Because he's in the last 10 years of his career, he obviously went to America to try and make it over there, but he's come back and he plays what's called the Trump game. He plays the populist game. He plays the game of populism. So he jumps to whatever thing makes him grow as a personality. It's all about himself. And that's it. He used to have principles 20 years ago. He doesn't have it anymore. But, like I said, he's toxic because of, his relationships with people, the phone hacking, all the things he said about women and various things. He's toxic, but he's still got friends in the sports world and he's still milking it and trying to keep himself relevant because he couldn't, once he got off Good Morning, he couldn't get a show anymore. No one would take him. He was on GB News and ridiculous crap like that. He was lost. So this is helping him revive his career to a degree. That's why he's done it.
100%. Big up Andrew Jackson said the players know exactly how unhappy the fan base is with the Glazers and they want them gone and they've heard the chants over due to the contract. Maybe that's why of course they cannot come and say you cannot expose your employees. It's called insubordination. Most of these players have it on their contracts, and Neil Ashton and the rest will make sure that players can never do that. Once you're contracted Man United, you can get actually sued by Man United if you come out and talk about in-house stuff outside. It is what it is, people. It is what it is. But I hope you've got a bit more of a background and more of an analysis, because to me, I'm not blaming Ronaldo for anything because I know Ronaldo's done. I'm not as angry as some of these United fans because I know Ronaldo's most important place is the football pitch. And in that part, Ronaldo is done out here. So this is a guy who's angry, who's has to deal with. To me, I worry about Ronaldo, Irfan. I genuinely worry about him as a human being.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah.
But I worry about him because now that it's coming to an end, he needs to get all of the therapy that he needs for him to be able to adapt, not being that guy. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo might just then go to Portugal and run for president. Do you know what I mean? It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
Because he cannot be in the limelight and be the number one. When he has been, it's been going on since he was 12 years old. When he first left where his family's from to go to Lisbon.
Yeah.
They would tell him you're going to be great. And to be fair, people are getting told you're going to be great. And he actually proved it and did it. So, but it's the other consequence that comes with that. That where your ego is so inflated that you're saying the only reason why you don't respect Eric Ten Hag because he didn't respect you, because he didn't start you every minute and every match. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. It is what it is. The Glazers are, for me, what the Glazers are. He's working, unfortunately. Bumbaye is working. But big up to every one of you guys. There's over 300 of you at any time in the chat here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, everything that's not. If you feel like Man United have been hurt, if you really feel about, let's check this out. Let's get the likes up, people. Support the honest of Nuruddin. What's going on here, fan?
I'm getting them on there on my phone. I'm doing both today.
Hold tight, whoever's impersonating Irfan. Great. Big up, people. Big up, people. Listen, it's the way it is. I just see it. That's how I see it, people. And we only tell it the way we see it. We don't always agree, because if we agree with each other, it wouldn't be the same. But for me, I look at this. I look at the bigger picture of this. Eric Ten Hag has won. The Glazers have won. Neil Ashton and the PR people have won. Piers Morgan has won. The Sun newspaper and all of the Murdoch press has won.
So all the media's won, basically. Yeah. All the media's won.
And Ronaldo's won because what? He got his way. So what is to be? He's disrespected the club. What club? The Glazers disrespect the club every single day.
For how many years?
Would you ever sign a 36-year-old man where every man and their nan knew we needed midfielders? We needed midfielders. And then every one of you people, who came and had a go at me on Twitter when I said, I do not want Ronaldo. Ronaldo's washed up. Everybody's like, no, you're chatting this, you're chatting that. No, I knew this because we watched football enough. Irfan, 2 ways to end with Ronaldo. He was either going to get a statue and come to a club that is completely changed from before the minute, a month before he stepped into that club, that completely transformed itself and became about the football, or he was going to end this way.
But Nuruddin, look, the question, has Ronaldo destroyed his legacy by behaving this way? Has he destroyed it? Has he destroyed his legacy by behaving this way?
For me, I refuse to think that, because I think when it was his height, for me, winning 3 league titles back to back, the Champions League, in most of our lifetimes, I never saw Best, Shaw, and Best, Law, and Charlton. They were the last guys to win the Ballon d'Or. But I saw it with Ronaldo. He scored over 40 goals. So I saw 40 goals, 3 back-to-back titles, and a Champions League. For me, that's a legend. That is in the history books, regardless what he says. But just says, Cantona got forgiven for attacking a fan, and Ronaldo's getting Chris for speaking his mind. For me, it's not about that. Listen, Cantona was a different legend.
No, but Nuruddin, that statement itself about the person, I don't know what was his name. That one, go back, put that one back up, right? That shows you exactly how some of the fans are reading it. They're saying, "What are you talking about?" You know, Cantona, did a jumping sidekick in a fan.
On TV. A fascist.
Okay, whatever. All right, a toxic fan, right?
No, it wasn't a toxic fan. This guy was part of the BNP, British National Party.
Okay. So let's say, all right, he was
who insulted his mom.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but that led to violence. Okay, he was provoked, but it led to violence. And this guy's saying,
I agree with that. Violence.
That's what I'm saying. But therein shows how some people are seeing this whole thing.
Yeah, and that's why this show is for those people to say, "Here, guys, who's to blame for this? I'm not here because Ronaldo's done out here." Honestly, I can't say this to you, like Ronaldo's done out here. Once you go, I don't respect the manager. Boom, see you later. You're done. You're done. There are codes in the football. In football, once you say not respect the manager, you're done. See you later. You're done out here. You're done out here. So Ronaldo's done out here. So I don't worry about that. I'm just happy. I'm actually relieved. And Eric Ten Hag is there going, thank you so much, Ronaldo. I appreciate you for doing this. But for me, the focus always has to be on the fucking ownership. It's the fucking ownership. Game on just says here, ownership. So that's why I put his age in the title. Who's to blame here? Who's the real virus? A 37-year-old CR7 or the Glazers? A big up, say me, says, Irfan, who's on top of the league? Hey, with 5 points clear, mind you, 5 points clear. Honestly, I can't believe that. If somebody would have told me at the beginning of the season, Arsenal, come 14 games later, Arsenal are going to be top of the league, 5 points clear, I would have been like, what?
Mm. No, but Nuruddin, you know, I have to admit with Arsenal, you did see signs last season they were starting to look better. You did see it. I saw it myself. I thought these guys are definitely improving. They're looking way more interesting as a football team and together. I could just see the fluidity starting last year. And obviously, look, you know, he's obviously got the Guardiola Arteta vibe going on. And he's pushing it, so he's made progress the right way. Let's call it out. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. And game on, you're telling it as it is. No, listen, no, we're not getting into the fact that they're American. I'm not asked about that. For me,
you say that, Nuruddin, but there is. Listen. One of the reasons why a lot of this has happened and you can get away with it because corporations run politics. They run politics. So owning like the crown jewels of football in England, a corporation owning it is no big deal because corporations own everything. They own the gas, they own electricity, they own the water. Everything used to be in the public's hands. The government used to own it all. So the little elephant in the room is the fact that the government and the majority of the elite of business in the country don't care if business owns every part that's precious to people, ordinary people in all parts of life. They don't care because that's how they see it. So, but this is a symptom of when vulture capitalists and corporations take over things that the public connect with as their own. Historically, they don't care. It's just business, and that's the poison that's created in this whole United saga, this United soap opera. This is what it is. It's because of vulture capitalists.
Now, facts. Big up, saying me. I said, Nuruddin, it's not all right to use violence against right wing or left wing. Otherwise, we have cancel culture. No, listen, defending yourself against a fascist is not violence for me. It's a definition of what violence is, right? Defending yourself against a fascist is not violence. That's self-defense, my friend. But
did that come out, Nuruddin? That was a fascist. Did it come out? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fascist. Yeah.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, you look it up. Honestly, look it up. He was a fascist. He was a member of, I think, BMP or Combat 18 or one of these.
Right. Wow. Well, Combat 18 is the violence arm of the violent arm of the racists. Yeah. Well,
Arteta is Alicia says Arteta Conte with spare wick. 5 points clear and a game in hand. Wow. Arsenal 5 points clear and a game in hand. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. But you know what? You know what they say in it? A league title, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
You see, for Arsenal, I would say they're peaking at the wrong time. They want to be doing this at the end of the season, not at the start.
Big up. He says, look, you see, I'm hurting. There is a revenue. I watch all my matches at home on pubs. 65 million pounds.
56
million pounds. Back the Glazers. I don't get this, fan.
I don't get that either. No,
I don't. What do you mean, bro? I'm hurting. There is a revenue.
Oh no! He's saying he's hurting their revenue by watching the games at home and pubs and not being at the game itself.
Okay.
I think that's what he's saying.
Okay, big up. Listen, love and light, people. Big up to every one of you. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you know how to subscribe, people. It is what it is. Ronaldo is what it is. And I'm going to go and try to watch these next couple of minutes now, or this 8 p.m. gems that Piers Morgan is dropping. So big up to everybody. Love and light, and take care. Stand up if you hate the Glazers. Big up to people in the ground. Always. That's what I love. That's why I love the fans in it. Who decides who's a fascist? Do you think you have exclusive authority to decide who's fascist? Well, most of listen. Robin Wolfram. Majority of fascists actually they're quiet. Was when they dehumanize other human beings. So to me, that's the idea. When they dehumanize other human beings for something that they can't help for. Like,
yeah, but check this remark out. Check this guy, because obviously he's been triggered, right? Yeah. Because you call that guy a fascist, he's coming at you to say who you decide whether the person's a fascist or not, right? I won't even use the word fascist. I'd call him a racist. Okay, I would call him that. But you know, the two, there is some intersectionality between the two. There is a link between both. Okay, but I mean, who's this guy to decide that we can't use his words? Who is this guy?
Nah, let him. But for me, that's what it is. So fascists for me is people who go out of their way to dehumanize other human beings on the thing of race, of
using race and big business.
Yeah, like on nationality, that's who they are. So as an anti-fascist person, for me, self-defending yourself against fascists is not violence. It's self-defense. That's what it is.
Fascists want big corporations to run the world. That's part of fascism as well. Yeah. They want all private entrepreneurs to own the world, you know? Never mind the racist element.
I hope you sign up for, you follow us on our channel when we get that channel together, bro. And then you'll come and get a bit educated. So we'll define the terms for you. No problem. Big up. So, guys, please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Take care. Love and light. Peace. Win, lose or draw, people. Glazers out. Bankers out. Take care.